Mr. Capone in the building, y'all.
Yes.
It's the Dana Cortez Show. I'm excited to have you here. First of all, we've talked for, I would say, probably years now.
Yeah.
We have a lot of mutual friends in the industry. How well do you know Bash?
Bash is my boy, man. Bash is my man. I know him pretty good from when I first started. So Bash is one of those guys, a real one. So he's always been a very humble guy. So we're good. Yeah.
He really has been humble, right? Like, people don't really realize how much behind the scenes action he gets in writing.
I see other artists that have that little, you know what I'm saying? Like, they think they're somebody and they're really not, you know? But Bash is actually up there, and he don't act like.
And he never had that kind of attitude ever.
So I know a real one when I see one. So he was real. You know?
How do you, speaking of that, I mean, you have a lot of fans. We just talked about your Facebook, Instagram. You have over 350,000 people that follow you on Instagram. How do you keep yourself humble? Because at the end of the day, you have a huge reach that most people could only dream of. Yeah. How do you keep it to where you're still like low key cool with your fans? You're not like, I'm way up here.
Yeah. Just be myself, because myself is kind of, I guess, humble kind of person more. So I grew up on that kind of like style as a kid. So it just turns back into the music. I don't change. And I seen everything from fame, and like, even though it's not real fame, but when I was in the hood, I was hood famous. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to, when I got famous in the music, I didn't take it to my head like, yo, I already had it like that. I was cracking already. Girls were already on me before. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't like, this is not new to me. So some rappers, maybe stuff is new to them, and they just feel like they're the king of the world, and then their life goes crumbling. They don't know what to do, turn into alcohol or drug addicts. That's on them, you know?
Have you kept yourself, away from that? Because we all know in this industry, in fact, like, we were just talking about this, like, I don't even drink when I'm out anymore, because we host a party, right? You the party. You are the party. So if you get drunk every night, if you do, pretty soon you can't even perform, I'm sure, because you're just out there doing that. How have you kept yourself? And I don't think you don't party, but from letting it take over your life.
I just always have separation from different times. So if I'm on party, it's going to be where I'm like a low-key spot where nobody really knows me like that crazy, and I could be a fool, you know?
Yeah.
But if
house parties.
But if I'm doing a show or somewhere where people know me, I'm not. It's like business. I take it as a business, so I got to handle my business. You know?
Well, people are there to pay to see you. They're not going to pay you to pass out or act foolish or forget your lyrics on the stage.
I'll take a little, just feel good, but I ain't gonna go crazy because the fans might love me too much.
I think the other thing is, in order to have the longevity that you've had, you have to like treat it. This is a business, and in order to like to stay on top, you got to treat it like a business.
Nah, definitely not.
You talked about hood famous. Where you come from? Tell us a little bit about your history.
San Gabriel Valley, Los Angeles County. Grew up in that area.
What is your home like? Because a lot of people watching and listening don't know what that part of the country is like. Give me a breakdown.
How it is over there?
Yeah.
Well, now it's cool now, like for me at least. I don't know, but when I grew up in the 90s or whatever, like obviously Los Angeles was known as gangbang capital. It was a lot of crazy stuff was going on. Like friends were dying, people getting locked up. We were 15-year-old kids getting tattoos on their foreheads, going to prison for the rest of life. Some barely coming out now, and their life is screwed because of the street life, And to us, it was just a normal. It was just, that was life,
That was your world. That's all you knew.
I didn't think there was any other thing but just having fun, getting in trouble, getting chased by the cops. Like, it was just like it was a life of,
those days.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what it is. Obviously, now I think times change because everything's changed, like every hood's changed, from West Coast to the East. But, things change, but it's still considered like, it was gang-related cities, and and grew up.
But you just said like a lot of your friends maybe just getting out of prison.
Yeah.
Some of that gang-banging activity, running from the cops. When did you decide, I don't want to run from the cops anymore? I don't want to live like this. Like, was there a moment that you can remember?
I remember my moment. My moment was when I was in jail, and it was like.
How old were you?
I was like, I just turned 18 or something. Like,
so it was real jail.
So I was with the grown men, So I was a young guy with a bunch of grown men. Guys were 50 years old and 40, and they're like, kind of like, I was looking at them that they're really loving this place, And I'm looking like, what the hell am I doing here? So, I was wild in there. I was like, man, and then they're like, no, the structure, there's rule. You got to do your bed. You got to do this. Like, so it was a lot of program, which I respect. but I'm 18 years old. I'm a fool, and I'm ready to like catch phase, fight with a lot of people, and there's a lot of rules and all this. When I seen this, I'm looking like, look, man, I'm not a. I felt like I was a dog in a dog pound. Like, like the cops have everything unlocked.
Yeah.
On the wall, don't look. So when I was in there, I was like, man, this is not what I thought, life was. Jail, even jail, like as a kid, you look at like jail, it's like a trophy, But I was like, man, when I get out, hopefully I get into, my vision was to get into music because I was inside the jail center. I made like kind of prayers and I was like, what can I do when I get out? And then I remember right when I was doing that prayer, one of my cellmates was, not cellmates, but a cell down the road, he was talking about rapping. Like, and I was like, man, I was like, man, God, if you can give me that opportunity to rapping, I'm going to go and just focus on that instead of streets. And sure enough, like I get out of jail, I have no connection with rapping, nothing. I run into some guy, he goes, hey, Lighter Shade of Brown, we're going to go party over there. We got, because I knew a lot of girls, like I was famous to like hang with girls and stuff. So
Hood famous.
Yeah. So it's like bring some girls over to this party. I was like, yeah, I got it. I got in there. I looked at his face. I swear to me, it like glowed. Like this is that same vision from jail. This is that connection. It's happening now. And after I did that, I just focused on music, and I'm still here.
That's crazy because I don't think people, like, whether you believe in prayer or whatever, I think whatever energy you put out, you're going to get back.
And especially when it's that authentic, like raw energy of
that's
like,
a wild
I
story.
need life to change, and it's crazy what you ask for. Sometimes it can happen, and you got to be careful what you ask for, though. Sometimes
You
I
do.
swear to God, it happened. I mean, I'm not lying.
Well, I believe you. You're here.
I believe you, yeah.
I mean, that was a prayer that was like, I felt like it got sent to me, like, this is what you're gonna do. And I was all right. I want to do it, and then it's like a promise. This is your way out of life to do good and take it. And I was like, I promise you, I won't mess it up. You're like I'm in jail talking to myself, which is, I guess some kind of higher power talk, And then I got in jail when I got out and I hooked up, seen it, I was like, yeah, I got to.
This is a sign. You can't throw it away.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not gonna mess it up. Like I'm gonna get punished if I mess up now,
You know what's interesting? Like, I'm gonna go back a few minutes to what you said because I don't want to forget to mention this. There might be somebody watching, listening, that will say, I don't understand what you mean by jail is a trophy. And and let me tell you something. From somebody who comes from a neighborhood different, but similar in a lot of ways from yours, Otto, same thing. When you're in this world, like you said, you don't know, right? You don't know there's another world. You didn't know about Japan. You don't know about other food. Like, you don't know about other life. You don't know about other opportunity because everybody lives in their bubble.
That's your college.
And like when you're in these neighborhoods, the guy that's got the money is usually the guy who's running the drugs or something. So, he's got the dog fights. And I'm sorry, people can be upset, but that's when you're poor, the person with the money is your hero. So, yeah, that's why you look at jail like, oh, this is like a crown. And when in reality, it's not.
Yeah, because you look at, as a little kid, you're looking at the guys who came out of jail who were like maybe at that time they were 34 years old, 30 years old.
You're like, oh,
and everybody respects them.
Everybody's like, bow down to this guy. Like, so he's the man, this is that. So me being like the kid who was crazy and wanted to show everybody I'm the best. Like, this is the guy who's everyone looking up to over me. So when you look at it, like when you go to jail, like this is gonna solidify me to be me now, But then when I went in there, and
you're like, this sucks.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You guys can have jail.
Yeah, I don't want jail.
I'm going on tour.
Yeah,
I'm going to Japan.
So then I thought to myself, what is the closest thing to my street life that could be me, but I don't have to be coming to jail? And that was like music. I could still talk about it. I could still rap about street ghetto environment stuff, but actually be doing something positive, like
telling your story to people,
other kids to be rappers too, instead of just going and trying
or
to
whatever they want to be.
Exactly.
And you ain't got to go to jail. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
And I swear, by me doing it, like even my neighborhood I grew up with, some became rappers, some became tattoo artists. They're all like, "Oh, I want to start a clothing line." So everyone's focused on other things now. So I see it in my community. And all the other artists that I've helped put on, like they're already leaving their hood stuff wherever they're trying to get into the music. So that just change you out the direction,
It touched me when you said that because my uncle, the prison system has affected my family, and he did the last time more than 20 years. And I remember having a serious conversation with him. And he said, I used to place a lot of blame on people. And kind of like you said, look up to certain, maybe the wrong kind of people, because that's the only influences I had. And he said, after a decade, I realized it's my problem. I'm the one with the problem. And I'm not an animal. And I don't want to be treated like an animal. And he educated himself. And he did a lot of good things when he came out of prison. But it took that long. So it's such a blessing that it didn't take you 20 years or 10 years or whatever to realize that we're not animals and we shouldn't be treated. We shouldn't act like them so we don't get treated like them.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I noticed. Like, I felt like, man, this is, I'm smarter than that. Like, I might be crazy. I might be flashy. I might like having fun doing the street thing. But then at the end of the day, like, I'm not like a dumbass to be just like, hey, I'm trying to get approval from everyone. I'm so much respect to everyone who's in there. And, they're stuck in their life because some people have no choice. Like if I got 20, 30 years, maybe that's I'm going to be that lifestyle. That's all I got.
What else? What other choice do you have?
Yeah. Exactly.
I see the reform coming. I mean, there's a long way to go. I saw we were talking about this. Kim Kardashian, she's been a big part of it. I mean, you got to give her credit. Trump signed the reform. But then one of the guys gets out of prison and he can't get a house. And that's that circle. Like people don't understand. You get out, you can't get an apartment, you can't get a house, you can't because of your record, you can't get a job. Well, you end up back in prison. So there's a lot more that we have to do.
That's the biggest, to me, well, at least for my society, the biggest problem we have is to help people who are in that cycle getting back into society and really making it, because you get judged. Like if you got a criminal record, you can't get a job nowhere.
But you're supposed to make it. Well, how? I can't eat.
Exactly. So then you can't get a job, and what are you going to do? You're going to go back on the streets. You already got, maybe you got a baby mama drama. She's like, you ain't got no money. This is going on. Boy. So you're going crazy to make money, and then you get caught up in a cycle of being locked up again.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a long way to go, but I'm glad we're at least moving in a positive direction. So, I wanted to ask you something, because we talked a little bit about you touring to Japan. Where's your favorite place other than the United States to visit? And not just because of the music, because I know you've traveled, but just because you like going there.
Man, going there, shoot. I don't even know, man. I just, I like every different place, honestly.
There's got to be one place, though, that kind of stood out to you.
Or you're like, man, I could live here.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm the type of guy, like, every city I end up going, like, I could live here. so I don't know,
because you fall in love with it, like, when you get there?
I mean, every city, like, I go there, and like, what if I start living, like, I'm start thinking in my head, if I live here, it'd be cool. No one knows. I'm like, I could do this and that. It's not my own city, and I feel more relaxed. But then when I come back, I was like, I love LA, So I don't know,
So you just like traveling?
I mean, it's not that I say I like traveling, but I mean, if I got a show, I'm gonna travel. I'm not mad about it, So.
Yeah,
get that bag. Yeah. So we're talking about this a little earlier. How has the LA gang culture changed from when you were younger to now? What's the difference now?
Difference is, man, a lot of rules, moral, like on the street level, like, which I'm not involved in the street level like that, but obviously there's internet now.
Yeah.
People are like talking shit, like I see with all the rappers.
Man, I'm telling
Everyone's
you.
talking crap, filming them beating up people or making out threats and all this stuff. To me, I was
giving them all the evidence.
Yeah. I'm raised with that style. It's like, you're not supposed to talk. You're not supposed to say, you're not supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I always thought the loudest guy is the weakest guy in the room.
Exactly. And right now, all I see is a lot of loud people. Yeah. So it's like, I'm kind of like, damn, like, I'm kind of glad I wasn't raised in this to try to look cool for clout, like, I don't know.
And honestly, I mean, I'm going to mention him 6'9". Clout got in prison.
Exactly.
Like, I'm like, dude.
Story right there. Like,
stupid. That's his saying, stupid, for real.
Yeah.
What would you advise all these young girls and guys coming up and doing these crazy things for clout? It's not just the rap game either. It's just social media in general, trying to get, famous from doing crazy things. What if you had a room full of these people, what would be your advice?
Man, that's just, see, I understand some people trying to do it because they want to maybe make it and make money. So that's understandable. But when you start passing the laws and doing stuff outside the boundaries of the law, that will come back and haunt you later. So basically, my advice is to people who are trying to like go viral on some dumb stuff, stay away from that, man, because it's going to come bite you in the butt later. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no joke. All that is evidence for you for later. One day you might be in a fight with somebody and they'll bring that up in your court case. And you're like, oh, man, like, this was 10 years ago. But, hey, you said it. You were saying you're this and that and blah, blah, blah,
Or what if you finally make it and then and then somebody brings that old stuff back and then you're done.
Exactly. So yeah, social media is like it's like just
It's
evidence.
a curse and a blessing, though. It's a
Yeah.
blessing too.
Yeah, you just gotta know exactly. You gotta know. You gotta use it for right reasons and don't use it for wrong reasons because it's gonna come back and haunt you. The wrong reasons will be a quick high. Like you'll get a quick high, but in the end, it's gonna affect your body. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna affect you.
So let's say, because I've heard you do collaborations with different people. If you could, anybody, man, your bucket list, you get to work with 3 artists today. Right now, you'd be like, all right, I could pick up the phone, call anybody. Who would be the 3 artists you work with right now?
Man.
Anybody.
First of
Are
all,
we saying dead or alive? Or just...
No, alive.
Okay, so,
We don't have a magic phone. We just got a regular old phone.
I wish you said dead because then I'd get some digging them out. But
I'd say Jesus. I want to interview Jesus. So
I feel like I did already everybody who I wanted to. Like for recently, Kevin Gates. I just got a new single coming out in next month.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
So
Yeah,
that's somebody who I really look up to. Even though I'm really West Coast, I only listen to West Coast music. But Kevin Gates, to me, outside of the West Coast, he's got real.
He's a real one. Yeah,
real one. So I would love to do with him. And then for the club wise and radio wise, Cardi B probably because she's popping. You know what I'm saying? So
I love Cardi, but she blocked me. She blocked me. Talk about social media. Yes, I'm like, girl. So if you meet her, this 6 degrees right here. You might be doing a show back. Yo, unblock Dana Cortez. You tell her, okay?
Okay, I got you.
All right, y'all got that. Y'all tell her.
I'm first be cool with her, and she tries to give me I'm like, hey, Dana Cortez gang.
Yeah. Tell her don't block me. Just on Instagram though, because I'm not blocked on Twitter yet. Let's not let her know. So okay, you got another person. So Cardi. So first of all, Kevin Gates, which you already got. Now Cardi B, and then who else?
Probably like, man, it's hard. Like I'm thinking for the musically wise, not my personal, because I think my personals I've done it already. Musically wise, maybe a Chris Brown do something. That,
I mean, he's talented. Yeah. Now talk about a guy there that probably should be filling stadiums, but because of some past incidents,
comes back and haunts him.
It does, and that goes back to giving people advice. Be careful what you do. Be careful how you treat other people. Make sure you're always kind. Think twice before doing something stupid, man. I mean, I've always said he's one of the most talented. We met him when he was so young, like 15, and one of the most talented guys. But that shit with Rihanna was not cute. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it was not cute, and unfortunately, but he's paid his price. We got to move forward and give him that second chance.
I picked the wrong name for Dana, huh?
Did, honey. I'm like,
she probably was smashing or something.
I'm like, no, I know. I believe in second chances. We talked about that. You can't throw a life away. I get some women who get upset with me, like, how can you support Chris Brown? I'm like, I'm not supporting Chris Brown, but you can't tackle abuse without dealing with the abuser. Yeah. You can't throw a man away who's hurting somebody. You have to help him too, or the cycle continues. We're right back in the same place. So, of course, everybody deserves a second chance. Now, you don't get a fourth or a fifth, but if you're really trying to work with yourself and go to counseling and really try to be a better man or woman, why would we throw somebody away because of a mistake? Well, then that means I can't be on the air because I've made hundreds of mistakes. I'm not perfect.
They're naive. I don't know. I don't know what happened because I just remember seeing some internet stuff. But
dude, he beat her up, and it was like, I'm telling you what happened.
Okay, that's wrong, right? That's definitely wrong. But on the positive note, which you probably don't even want to hear as a positive note, I think he really probably loved her and stuff because there's no guy.
I don't doubt for a minute that he loved her,
and he just didn't know how to be very.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of that's learned behavior though. Like I'm sure he
probably grew up. Yeah, his mom.
His mom was getting abused, and so if you see that's how you're going to react to a situation. It's just
back to the beginning of the conversation. You're bubbled. You go with what you know.
Exactly. So I mean, he needs some rehabilitation on that. I don't know if he did or not.
He is. He still is. He's working on it.
I'm pretty sure he probably has a lot of anger issues. Probably he grew up fast. People threaten him every day.
Yeah.
I imagine I get hate. You know what I'm saying? So if
I see that, how do you handle it?
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. It could bubble and it could go out on somebody else. So that's my point. Like with him, I don't know why he went out with her, but all this hate that comes and builds in you, and then one day you could be mad and you take it out on somebody. It could be just a regular person in the store, and he bumps you wrong, and you're like, what? And then all the anger,
and it had nothing to do with that person.
Nothing to do with it. All the anger goes into that one guy, and then basically it's just like, oh, you snap out of it, like, damn, what did I just do? But it's because that madness is building in you. So I know that in my head. So I'm like, I gotta use my mind a little bit more. Like, don't let someone else's bad things jump on someone else.
When I'm really angry, I take it out on the people I love the most.
I get to feel it.
I know it's horrible, but that's
But it's
like
vice versa too. It's
that's
just the
how
way,
my
yeah.
family was. Like every time we were mad at somebody else, we always hated on each other. I don't know, but that's another show. That's a therapy session for myself. So what are you working on now, man? I want to talk a little bit about music real quick.
So I got right now, I got my album I'm working on. Well, actually a single I'm working on with Kevin Gates. So in April, I think I'm gonna drop the.
What's the vibe? Because you've got a sound, he's got a sound.
Yeah.
How'd y'all bring that together?
If you hear it, you're gonna be like, it worked.
I can't wait, dude.
It worked. And then Kevin's a real humble guy, man. He took, it was his show really in Corpus, and he brought me on stage and everything, whatever. So, for artists on that caliber, which obviously I'm who I am, but he's on a caliber worldwide.
Yeah.
And then for him to show me that kind of love, and not to say because he's different, but at the end of the day, like no one's gonna put a guy from the street on stage like that or show me love. Like he took me literally out to eat in restaurants and I'm paying. So we're fighting. I've dealt with other artists that think they're the king of the world.
Don't talk to me. Don't worry about it. You lucky to be on this show.
Exactly,
don't forget who they are.
Exactly. Like they want you to just kiss up to them. And I'm the type of guy I don't do that. So I see it with a lot of artists, but with him, he's almost, you could say, showing me love. Not say kissing my ass, but he's showing me love. And I'm like, this guy don't have to do that, but he's showing me love. Like, let's go eat. I got you, this and that. Showing me love. So that's a real one right there, because he doesn't look at me as a different level.
What have I always said about Kevin Gates?
I know you always
one of
said,
the most genuine, most intelligent. This is like a good dude. That's
who comes from a very difficult upbringing as well. I mean, talk about a guy with a story to tell. With a similar story though to what we're talking about. When you come from a place where there's not a lot, man, it's different. I want people to try. I always try to make people understand that when you don't have anything, you do some crazy stuff, man, because you ain't got nothing to lose. You don't have anything to lose and everything to gain. Exactly. And so that's why we have to really work hard, and reach back and don't be a hater like that. And we are all on the same level. Yeah. Everybody wipes from, they butt just like everybody else. That's what my nana used to say. They use toilet paper just like you, mija.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Kevin Gates, when he does his shows, he goes with a few people. He's not trying to party after. He's not trying to, like let me do this, that. He just does his job. He shows love to his little crew that he has, and that's it. He's not here hiding with 50 security guards or whatever, or trying to be flossy and try to clout chase. He's all just humble, So I mean, sometimes humble don't win, but I mean, I guess God's blessing him still to be in the game.
I think that cream always rises to the top.
Yeah.
There's a reason that people say that saying is real. And I mean, look how long you've been in this business, man. I mean, I didn't know how this interview was going to go, and it went a whole lot damn better than I thought it was. I knew it'd be good, but you never know. Sometimes people are afraid to talk real talk, and we like to get in here and have a real conversation. We don't know which way it's going to go, but I like the way this one went. So, are you going to send us the song? That's the question.
Yeah, I want to know. I want to hear this song.
Definitely, I'll have it to you.
So does this master whenever, whenever it's done.
A couple weeks, it'll be ready to come. So I'm gonna send it out to everyone I know. Boom.
All right, Mr. Capone. Anything you want to say to your fans? You got a message or something? I mean,
just just keep living your dream. Do what you gotta do best. Mr. Capone, I'm here. I'm coming back. If you haven't heard from a second, new single coming out. And shoot, much love to everybody, man.
All right, y'all. Mr. Capone, the Dana Cortez Show. Yes.
Thank you for coming in.